This thing.
We're live.
We're live, everybody. What's up?
Not yet.
Oh,
All right,
you're
we're
waiting to click
live
to go
now.
live. Oh, now we're live. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll give it
you
like a
opened the
minute.
room and told me you were live.
Yeah, we'll give it a minute,
Yeah.
and then people, man, people are joining on Facebook already. All right, I mean,
Ooh, we got people in the stream.
everybody say hi to Giorgio.
What's up, everybody? Hi, I'm Giorgio. Are we going kicking this thing off, Joey?
Yeah, I mean,
We're
Giorgio
gonna
is
wait a
a really
second.
good friend of mine. You're in South Carolina, correct?
No, I'm in North Carolina,
Oh, he's
Wilmington, North
always on the
Carolina,
move.
right now.
So he's always on the
Yes,
move.
yes.
Super
A little bit about
talented,
me.
super talented
Yeah,
videographer, photographer, tour manager, master of a
yeah.
lot of trades. So, yeah,
I try.
let's
Yeah,
say something about
get into
yourself.
it. Yeah. All right, everybody. I guess Joey didn't tell me anything that we were going to talk about.
No, we're going on the
I
fly right
roughly
now.
think this is about the music industry. So my start in the music industry was through a mutual friend of ours, I guess, Christopher Murphy. We
Shout
met
out
when I was
Murph.
in college. Yeah, shout out DJ Murph. Um, yeah, we met through him and some other local Missouri DJs. I was hanging out with Chris, kind of being his acting tour manager at the time before I really knew what that job even entitled or was. I think neither one of us knew what that title was
I
at
mean,
the
we were
time. He
young.
was just
Yeah.
a, yeah, young bar life. But yeah, I drove him around. I set up his equipment. He was running off just a mixer and two turntables and plugged into any different bars sound system. There were a bunch of different ones on varying scales of ability. But yeah, we rocked it out for like 2 years together. Filmed him, took some pictures of him. Eventually got some breaks, opening up for some bigger acts. That got the attention of a local promotional group, B&W Music. Shout out Megan and Amin. I started doing concert videography for them. They had a nightclub in St. Charles, and some big EDM acts came through there. Diplo, Steve Aoki. So I kind of cut my teeth for 2 years filming them, making after movies, promo material, meeting people, learning to wear all black. Uh, and along the way, I met Joey. I think the first time we really hung out was Lake of the Ozarks, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were doing shows down there during the bigger holidays like 4th of
Yeah, it was just
July, Labor Day,
it was
Memorial
just
Day.
this ratchet place. If any of you have seen the TV show Ozark, it's just like that. Everyone's dying, bunch of drug money, bunch
Yeah,
of
I mean, you
rednecks,
could
bunch
see
of
like a
meth.
$5,000 house next to a $50,000 boat. So, or $500,000 boat. So,
Yeah, but that house sold for $2 million. Just the property of the house itself was only 5 grand, but the
yeah,
property is so
it's wild
expensive to
down
be on
there.
that lake. Yeah, so we made it. We stayed up really late one night. You couldn't go to sleep, and I had made some Kendrick Lamar bootleg. I think that you and Murph were like digging apart and playing with. Um,
You were. I mean, that was
uh,
like the first time I really met you too, and you were
yeah,
super
so that was like our
motivated.
first like experience. Yeah, I was just making beats. Before that, as a guitar player, I grew up playing guitar. And I had always dabbled in, I guess, electronic production, but everyone was just better than me, or I never wanted to stick in long enough to make something I was happy with. I would just get too frustrated with the software or with what I was doing, which I'll get to later, I guess, in this podcast about teaching yourself,
Yeah.
which I guess is a big part that or something that I learned later on in life to be as successful as I was like learning how to teach myself and learning how to not be afraid, look things up that I didn't know. Um, yeah, that was a whole big process. So yeah, I was making these beats, met you, we were partying at the lake, you were super drunk. No, not drunk, on
Always
acid.
turn. Always
See, I
acid.
so I
Yeah,
still
we were
don't
getting
know
really drunk
exactly
then. I was on
who
probation. I
we're supposed.
wasn't even allowed to leave the county.
Yeah.
Oh man, those were wild times. Yeah. So flash forward, working in St. Louis. You were also DJing in St. Louis at this time. Um, I get picked up by this artist, Prince Fox. Shout out Samuel. He was my first touring act. we had met a couple of times as we had came through St. Louis DJing. He liked the videos I'd made for him
You were
and liked
killing it on the videos back then,
barbecue.
man.
There was no one else doing it.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, yeah. I was like, I got in real early. I guess this was like 2015 or 16, and being a Instagram videographer wasn't cool yet. It
I
wasn't
mean,
a
do you
lane.
think it's just very easy like back then? I
It
think there
wasn't
were
a
only
lane.
like do you think it's just very easy 15
I mean,
second
Chris Yoder
videos,
was a
yeah.
thing. Roy Kramer was the biggest guy on Instagram at this point in time. The Chainsmokers were the biggest act in EDM. So if we all remember that time period, I don't know how old that feels now, but almost feels like a decade ago.
Chainsmokers are
But
still cool, right?
dude, all day long,
All day
just
long.
blast it. Just blast it, buddy. Yeah, so I got on with Sam. We did like it was like a half headlining tour, soft ticket, which for people who are in here don't know means it's just a club that people already go to and they book DJs to bring in more people, but there's already like a built-in fan base versus a hard ticket show, which is just a room or a concert hall where people aren't going for any other reason but to see you and you're selling tickets. So usually soft ticket shows are to pad up and coming acts to get them exposure. So it was like a half soft ticket headlining tour, and then half of it he was opening for Borgore and 12th Planet on the Savage tour. So I got to meet those guys who were awesome. Asaf and John are just two amazing people. I see 12th Planet quite a bit more. Like I saw him over the years at festivals, and he always remembered me, which
Dude, that's
has like
awesome. He's
photographic
the
memory. Yeah,
godfather
no,
of dubstep, man.
it's yeah. He's just the nicest human being in the world. I can't explain anything more than that. Like I was just some like I didn't know what being in the music industry was. Like somebody had just given me a job, and
It was like my first day on the job. I show up and like piss 3 people off already. I pissed off Borgore's tour manager from calling him and asking him about sound check times. Little did I realize that DJs don't do their own sound checks and they
Really?
don't care at all. Their tour
I mean,
managers
but
do that
why
for
would that matter if you're asking the tour manager?
because he wanted to be left alone. He was like, "Why didn't you read the email? Like, read the advance.
I
Like,
mean,
everything you need to know was on that advance."
I
So
guess,
he was.
but
He wasn't mad, but he was just like, "You are some green newbie, and you're definitely showing it."
yeah, but like there's that running joke of like how to be a tour manager in like 2014, just show up mad. It happens.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, there definitely are those like old school like band rocker tour managers where they just walk in and they're like holding a clipboard or something and definitely got a walkie-talkie and uh, they're probably tucked in pants like with like some sort of like hiking belt on that's used to equip things all
Don't
around
forget
them.
my bomber jacket.
Oh yeah, 4 or 5 rolls of gaff tape. Dude, I need a bomber jacket. Oh, shout out Courtney Young. If you're watching this or get a hold of this at any point in time, I still want that emo night jacket. I want to be cool. Yeah, that's about
Courtney's
it. I want to be
awesome.
cool. Yeah, Courtney's the
But
shit.
yeah, so you
Speaking of
started
Courtney,
touring. How many years were you think you were tour managing for?
all of 2017, 18, and 19.
Okay. I
It's
mean,
basically spent 3 years on the road, going from different EDM acts.
is that
Like I
still
said,
your
Prince Box
world?
was the first one.
Yeah.
In what way are you asking that?
I mean, do you
guess.
still want to get back into like being on the road like that?
I guess my last job in EDM was live streaming. I did CrossFest, so me and a couple of buddies of mine got together and we ran a 6 camera live stream, um, sponsored by Beatport and Mixmag, of Cross Music Festival. And lucky enough, it was one of the last music festivals before we all got
Right.
quarantinoed.
And then I ran
per
into you in
se.
the airport right before you were getting there. What are the
You
odds?
you did. That was very, very, very strange. Yeah, so that was my last gig in music, which I might want to get back into again. Like I definitely have my own personal setup, but I just got into the podcasting world. So shout out, my new job is with the Drinking Bros podcast. We're number 9 in news and number 6 in sports overall in the world.
Dude, that's
So
awesome.
I do this every day. I run 2 live streams, do about 3 shows, and yeah, kick it. So
Dude, I mean, it's so awesome because it's like at first I was very hesitant about like live streaming or even podcasts or anything. I mean, besides like the self-conscious thing, but like it's I mean, it's a different world now and I mean, the one thing that has come really out of this quarantine is like, live streaming and just all this stuff has fast tracked like at least 5 years.
I think it's just came to the front.
Yeah,
And
I
what's
mean,
really cool is what I like to see is how some of the big cable networks are falling on their face, all trying to be Joe Rogan.
yeah.
So like when this happened, everyone had to be Joe Rogan. It was like you're at home, do your own thing. David Spade did a really interesting thing. I don't know if you saw that. He was interviewing everyone from Tiger King. So he was doing like a catch up. Where are they now? What's going on in their life? With
No,
all the
I
Tiger King
didn't. No,
people. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was,
I watched it,
yeah,
but I'm like, I'm not delving. Just the memes. Just the memes.
the memes. Yeah, you should see one of the husbands who like didn't commit suicide. Full new set of teeth. Dude
Oh
looks
yeah,
good.
and I know. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Back
good
to what I was
for
saying is
him.
like David Spade had these horrible cutouts. You know, a portrait mode on your iPhone where it just blurs everything behind you.
Yeah.
It looked just like that. Something just finished downloading. I don't know if you heard that, but that was
No,
on my
no.
end. So sorry.
Yeah,
It
no.
was a
I like at the end of the day, like with the live streaming, I really, I mean, obviously you want more viewers, but I just have really dope friends in the industry, and that's why I'm starting this podcast. And then on top of that, I get to DJ on Thursdays and get to put my art out there that generally a lot of people don't get to hear because
Is it DJing if no one's doing coke to your music? Is it even DJing?
what do you mean? We're
Is
having
it,
fun. We're still having fun.
if no one's doing key bumps in the bathroom, is it even EDM?
I love it. I mean, I love it. Trust me, promise you. I mean, I've been through my peaks and valleys with my career, but generally my biggest sets I play dead sober. And
Oh yeah, but I'm saying,
that's
is
where
it
I've gotten
considered
to.
DJing? Is it considered DJing if no one's doing it to your music, not
Oh,
if you're
they're doing in the
vibes?
Zoom rooms.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
no,
making sure people are still
There's
partying out
Zoom
there.
rooms going on, and people are just partying, and it's they people get reckless, and then I don't have to drive home, so let's just do more. So
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
so I mean, just
All in the safety of your own home, kids.
right,
Be responsible. Put your mask on after you whip it.
right. What festival do you think's gonna be the first one to go? I mean, no, first one to
The first
start.
one, the first one to come back.
I
Oh,
mean, I'm just on the consensus that 2020 is
um,
done.
I want to say it's going to be a private one, and I definitely think 2020 is done. Um, Insurance is the biggest issue for me. Getting some of these festivals insured. Um, so any big festival, I think, is going to be. I think we're going to see like some country rock metal festival, biker festival that's like semi-legal is probably going to be next with about 5,000 people. I think you'll see that at a Daytona Beach or somewhere in
Yeah,
Alabama
yeah,
pretty
I see
soon,
that.
somewhere in Florida. Um, yeah, I think that's next.
I mean, how's your whole feeling about getting back? Your city like? California's supposed to be.
No one's wearing masks here. No one cares. Everyone, yeah, I'm in a red state,
Yeah.
so it's a little different in California.
How do you feel about that?
Oh man, we're diving in deep
No, I mean no,
early.
I'm low key. I'm not like a germaphobe, but I hate close talkers. And when somebody actually lets a little spit out, I will let them know. So I'm happy everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna keep you safer through most of the normal colds and flus.
Yeah.
Sorry, the seasonal flu.
Frankie says, "What's up in the chat?"
Oh, tell Frankie I say what's good. Um, yeah, Frankie's a good dude.
Yeah, he's out here right
Yeah.
now. I don't know. I got a lot of people wanting to come out here and visit me, and I'm just kind of like, my roommate's pregnant, so it's just kind of like I'm just
no.
yeah.
Why? What? No,
Like you know how
no,
many things like
no,
I mean it is what it is, but like you know how many
no,
things you have to touch
no,
to get here.
no, no. Why are people coming to visit you now? You can't even leave in LA. People, what?
Yeah, because they want
There's no reason. There's no
it's the
reason to.
Midwest people. They've saved all this money. Like obviously a lot of them from probably from the stimulus check and everything, and they're just ready to spend it. I get it, but like now's not the time.
None of them have saved that money. They have blown that money
No,
weeks
man,
ago.
people are getting unemployment plus.
Yeah, they're getting unemployment that's more than their paycheck, which is
And we
crazy.
don't get because we earn 1099.
I applied for a few grants that I received. So I did okay,
Dude, that's
and
awesome.
I was only out of work for about 6 weeks before I got this new job.
Mhm.
Like I am kind of the success story when it comes to like I had all these jobs canceled because of coronavirus with every festival getting canceled. Like we were ready to go. We were about to fly to Miami Music Week and do Peak Tongs, my music week party, and do a live stream for that. But yeah, everything just got shut down really quick. So yeah, I'm a success story, but I also was very diligent. I had to really start to pay attention to politics. I had to listen to when different stimulus grants got approved. I had to be the first one to apply. I helped my dad apply for all his SBA and PPP loans, but it was still so many hoops we had to jump through, and then barely got things late. So I can only imagine what it's like for people who weren't as diligent as I was.
Dude, yeah. I
So,
mean,
and
you could only
I feel for
imagine the
them.
people that
Like
got, sorry, the people that
no, go
got
ahead, man.
paper checks. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's I feel bad, but at the same time, you could go and change it. Like you could go in and put your information in there, and
yeah. I have a lot of friends that
you got to
just kind of
read.
just
You got to
gave up really
read. I mean,
quickly.
there was info. There was info out there. I saw you sharing it. I saw you like people wrote articles. They wrote step by step tutorials. People made YouTube videos on what to do and how to do it. Podcasters talked about it. So I think we really came together. And if you wanted to listen, like you could have got some help.
Yeah, and that's like I mean,
I don't, but I don't want to speak for everyone in different states because that may have just been the state that I was in.
yeah.
So it's different.
If there's a will, there's a way, right?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. I also wanted to make sure I was the first one to get any aid that I could. Like I wanted to make sure I was the first in line for that. But then you watch everything come down and the big businesses kind of got served first. Some of them gave the money back, but it was like the Lakers, Ruth Chris,
Hmm.
like everyone was getting 40, $50 million because supposedly they were a small business.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it's a huge amount.
dude, it's so much money. And it was pigtailed for like businesses under 500 people, which in itself is still not that small, but that's like the small business chunk you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's politics.
Anyways, new topic.
Back to music.
No, but like on the whole, like, has quarantine really? I mean, were you working a lot of the whole time? I don't know. Like, you've just started working
No,
recently.
yeah, CrossFest was it. CrossFest was done, and I've been in this job 2 weeks. So I had some money coming in because the invoices I sent out are about 45 days. So I had about 45 days of money coming in still, and I had to decide what I wanted to do, like how I was going to start making money. Like animation was a thing I started putting a lot more time into, and podcasting.
Yeah. So how did you get linked up with this job?
Indeed, I just literally put in podcasting in Indeed.
Okay, that's awesome.
I have a Dropbox link with my like photos, Dropbox link with all my video work that's like broken down into like trailers,
Your price kit.
weddings. Yeah, it's everything.
Let's go.
Then I send that out. I send a nice little cover letter email. I'm like, please hire me. So I I had to not feel sorry for myself. Like I had to not want to quit. I like shout out Joey Diaz. Like podcasts like got me through quarantine. And like the church is one of my favorites. Like a lot of the comedians out there, some of the best ones. And he's like, get off your fucking ass. Like, go to the grocery store, put a mask on, put gloves on, be a night stalker. Like, do it right now. Like, make it through. Like, don't feel sorry for yourself because you're gonna set yourself up to win when it gets better. So
Yeah, I mean,
your
not to
upstairs
say
neighbor
that
just
like
dropped so much stuff.
not to say through this quarantine that like we all have to be doing something, but if you want to realize that like if you start something right now, when we all come out of this, everybody's starting at basically zero.
Yeah.
do you want a head start or you don't? And that's on you, man. I mean, no shaming anybody for not doing anything during this quarantine. Even staying at home and healing is a good thing because we've all
Yeah, because
been.
that puts you in a position to feel better. That puts you in a position to be successful. Like if you need time to heal, if you need time to like work through some things, whether that's mentally or physically, you know, that time wasn't wasted. That time was spent healing.
And
I
people don't
think a
see
lot
it
of
that
times
way.
healing and self-care and a
Yeah.
lot of these words that get tossed around that we have to accept as being good for us, which they are, if we do them correctly and we understand what those words mean. I think we don't really always understand what those words mean. So we put those in place of what we want to do. Like sitting on this couch and watching TV is self care, but it's like, is it? Like you said, your back was hurting. So, like, how about you stretch?
Yeah.
Or how about you make sure you put your vitamins out for the next week so you take them so you're not just taking them sporadically and saying, oh, I did this or oh, I tried. But like, have you really tried? Have you really tried to feel healthy? How much water have you drank? You know,
No.
like, like how much water have you drank today? I've drank 2.5 cans since we started this and I kind of have to pee. So
Sugar addiction is real, man.
shout out to LaCroix, got that because, music festivals got me hooked on it. They had it in every green room, every cooler, every music festival just had stacks and stacks of LaCroix. And I wanted to be cool.
Really,
So I
it must
learned to
be
like
nice. I
it.
mean, I just take all the coconut water.
Mm. I was on a coconut water kick, but then I discovered that I like the fake coconut water, like the bad stuff with the sugar in it to make it taste good.
Oh
And
yeah.
I tried the real like Hispanic coconut water with like pieces of coconut in it, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible.
So, I mean, it depends on like how ripe the
I mean, they have it in
coconut
Puerto
is
Rico too, and
sometimes too.
they have the fresh stuff in Puerto Rico, and I still didn't really like it.
Yeah, you were in. How long were you in
Shout out
Puerto
Puerto
Rico
Rico.
for?
Like 2 months. So I
Okay.
was kind of quarantining before there was quarantining. I'm usually always on trends before people start them. So all of December and January, I was in basically quarantine. I had a skiing accident where I separated my shoulder. I don't know if you guys can want
Oh
to check
god.
this
Oh
out,
wow.
but
Okay.
yeah. So I was just there doing rehab on that. I had some rehab equipment, some bands, and some weights, and so I could wake up in like a temperate area, get in the pool, do some motions, do some band work, and I was by myself, so I could do that 3 times a day. So I was basically quarantining, listening to podcasts, walking, and I made this like little routine where I would drink 2 to 3 bottles of water before I drank my coffee, and like I was doing healthy habits before I'd even know, just to get in the routine of doing things.
Mhm.
Um, and it was really helpful. Like healed my shoulder. I can do push-ups now. Have mobility, can grab stuff.
Dude,
I
that's awesome.
can
How bad were you out?
uh pretty bad. Like I mean, it was a grade 3 separation, which means it's the worst separation you can have. Which all the ligaments are torn right here that hold your collarbone to your shoulder.
Well,
So
let me
basically,
ask you
all
this.
those tear.
Let me ask you this. Why do you want to do a sport where EMTs are waiting for you at the end? White people. White people.
Shit on skiing for 45 seconds, and I'm gonna answer that when I get back from skiing.
All right.
Sorry, everyone in the live, but I've been working all day and I gotta do it.
All right.
Wait, mute me.
Yeah, why would you I don't skiing never seems like it doesn't seem fun to me. Of course, yeah, it's a good core workout. I mean, but if you have EMTs waiting for you at the bottom of the hill, why does that sound like a good idea? And shout out to everybody watching right now. We're live, so if you're on Twitch, Facebook, or Instagram, shoot us some questions. We'll gladly answer.
As Joey's most professional friend, that was extremely unprofessional of me,
Uh,
but
oh
sometimes
God,
you gotta go.
this man could pee into a Voss bottle
Oh God,
like
that's a
nothing.
great story. Should we just jump into that? Should we just like, because they want
Yeah,
to hear about music
I
stuff.
mean,
They want to
do
hear
you want
about
to
like
answer my
behind the
question
scenes
on why skiing
on
is
what.
worth it?
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to make ski videos. I had finished my last job in music and I hadn't gotten with another artist yet. And I thought, hey, My buddy Sam Yanis has a bed and breakfast in Skiville, Colorado, which is not a real thing. I'm just fucking with everyone. It's Georgetown, but
Buys one GoPro.
he worked at a ski resort, Loveland Ski Resort. Shout out Loveland. And I was like, okay, I'll learn to ski. I'll be up here. I'll make gnarly ski videos. Because the stuff I was seeing wasn't that cool, and I thought I could make cooler stuff. So he gave me a place to stay, and I was like, let's learn to ski and let's do this. So on my 30th birthday, I went out for my first time, and I was crushing it. And about 15 times in, I got the AirPods for my birthday. Shout out Apple on the AirPods. But I was listening to the baby, and I was just feeling myself a little too much coming down the end, trying to catch up to everyone. And I hit a piece of ice, and I swerved, going way too fast, and then just right on my shoulder.
So long story short, you ski for the gram.
Yeah. Long story short, it was for the gram. Like, I mean, most of my life is for the gram. Like, let's be honest.
Okay. I mean, it's your output, into this world.
Right. It's like just if you need to know me, just go to the gram.
Okay. Just Giorgio.
Yeah.
If you don't see in the bottom left corner.
I've been trying to get Giorgio for forever. It says it's open. I can't get it. I'll buy it from whoever has it. Name your price. Yeah.
Anyways, so I haven't linked up with Giorgio for a while until he came out to California. I'm in Huntington Beach right now, and he needed help with the transport for an artist, Drew. Really awesome boys, makes really good music. They're signed with Bitbird, and you want to take it from there?
Yeah, we hadn't linked in a minute. Was that really the first time? No. I feel like Splash House was before that. Was it not?
That was Splash House.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking, well, you said transport, so I was definitely thinking the San Francisco show.
Oh, oh God.
Yeah. Okay, so rerun.
Yeah, we're good.
Jog wheel back spin. DJ. No, yeah. So I'm with this artist Drew, future bass act, Vincent Hine. It's Hine's wife, fiance's Taryn's birthday today. Shout out Taryn. Oh, yeah, none of them are gonna see this, but yeah. What's up? We are driving out to Splash House, which is in Palm Springs. Yes.
So 3 hours.
Yes, where all the old
from LA.
3 hours north of LA. So we're flying in. And as a tour manager, my job is to sometimes facilitate transportation. So we had flown into LAX, and Joey was going to be our transpo out to Palm Springs. Picks us up in this badass caddy. It was pretty awesome.
President's Club, man. Hertz President's Club. Shout out to them.
If we can get a Hertz sponsorship, that'd be awesome too. So shout out Hertz. Yeah, so he picks us in the sweet caddy, and we start our 3-hour ride up. I have to pee really bad, and I have this Voss water bottle.
No, that was my Voss water bottle that cost like $8.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how I got it. I definitely wouldn't have bought it myself. But so Joey, bought really expensive
quarter
water.
Full still.
So yeah, I basically took $2 delicious water and mixed it with my urine inside my shorts without anyone noticing.
I mean, it happened so fast that I didn't. It was just the deed was done.
Yeah, I had already peed. No one had said anything, and
just like, I gotta go.
Pull over anymore.
Yeah.
So I was a wrestler in college, and I think cutting weight kind of made me have some bladder issues. But I also could just be making an excuse for drinking lots of coffee and having to pee. But sometimes I gotta go. Like, attest to anyone who's in this chat who knows me, knows when I have to pee, I have to pee. There's been nights in St. Louis where I've been walking home from downtown and I've peed myself. I've peed myself more as a grown adult than I care to tell people. Like, stone ass sober. Like, just can't get to a bathroom in time.
All right, pack
30-year-old man.
Yeah.
I don't wear underwear.
I mean, how
okay,
the 2 times that I helped out with you and Drew, it was. I mean, is that tour life pretty that chaotic all the time?
Yeah, it's 1 to 2, 3 nights in a row is fine. It's great. It's fun. You love it. It's not too bad staying up till 4:30 in the morning, up at 9. Like, it's not that bad. The issue is when you do it 15 nights in a row and you're up till 4 and you have to fly at 9. So that means you're up at 6, out of the hotel, packed, make sure all the gear was packed from the night before correctly, nothing
Right.
was left. You've been settled with a sketchy club owner. You have merch there that you didn't remember you had merch that has to go out somewhere else, that the store's not open in the morning, that someone didn't account for. So there's just a lot of moving pieces constantly. And that just takes like mental energy away from you. And by the end, you got nothing left. You're just crawling. And something as simple as like asking someone to bring you your vodka for the 5th time is like hard.
New perspective. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so like one of the last shows we did with Drew Lou was at this place called Celebrities in Vancouver, and their whole basement had been flooded. Heinz' fiance was there. Her 2 best friends were there. It was like a big last night of the tour evening, and we just got shafted. Like our green room was basically a little tiny roped off area. They wouldn't rope it off. I'd ask them 16 times. They wouldn't miss anything. Heinz' girlfriend's there hoping to have the red carpet rolled out for her, and I'm
Because
just
this is
like,
our hometown.
yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can fucking do. And all these people really care about is if the music sounds good and if visuals are up. And no one can be happy.
It was just stressful. That
But
was a stressful. Even a soft ticket sale thing like that was stressful.
that one was just because it was like a local thing. There was always just like little issues. Like any live production, there's just something that's a little off. Julie was much easier than some of the other acts I went with. Like
Yeah, because
the
they're
act right
awesome
before
dudes. They just
them
want to
was
do cool stuff.
yeah, and like they had a pretty like they were really invested technically, both of them. So like they kind of had it streamlined where they knew what they wanted to do and they knew how the ins and outs of like their show wanted to be portrayed. Um, Justin, Crywolf, the act I was with right before them, did the same thing, but he, like me, grew up like basement dweller style, duct taping things together. Oh, dude, he's just sent me his. He did a full performance of his first album. He's doing a full performance of all his albums for people, doing digital concerts right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so him and Ronit, his girlfriend, who's also a singer, have this house in Crestline. Sorry. Wrong pipe.
Is that the Rona? Is that the Rona?
Oh, it's definitely the Rona. Dude, I got it. I'm getting the antibodies right now. So if none of you see me for 2 weeks, I'll then be immune and you can be best friends and lick my face.
Send it.
Right. Full send constantly.
That's cool. How do
yeah,
you I mean this whole DJ streaming stuff, how do you feel about all that?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone who's doing it outside of Insomniac trying to do like the faux concert slash like a big production behind me, like just DJ by themselves, should stop.
Well,
You're not
I
going to
mean,
do better
okay,
than
so like
their.
if so I'm doing it, yeah, I value your input. I mean, doing what I like you're saying like something that I'm doing on Thursdays I should stop.
No, no, because I mean you're working with the same people, and it's a subset of it. Like you're not all going to have an Insomniac brand behind you, but it's
No,
you know what I'm
well,
saying.
I mean,
You know the I mean you kind of know the people I'm referring to. Like um
they're just doing
I just
real. I
think
mean,
let me they're going to do it the best. So I think that finding something, I think looking at theater is the way to go and be successful. I think because you have a stationary audience, look to what they do to up their production. Look to what they do to make something intimate and original. I think trying to copy someone and not doing it as well as they're going to do it and not having the abilities to do what they're going to do is setting yourself up for failure, kind of.
but Insomniac's the only one doing it in studio though.
Right, right. This guy Trevor lives with Johnny. I forget his last name. We were supposed to work cross together, but he was out of Okeechobee. Great dude. I think he's been doing a lot of it. I've been seeing a lot of it on his Instagram page.
Okay, so so here's the thing, like on bicycle day, 4/19.
I don't know. Let me finish my point with the whole thing.
Go
Because
ahead.
like you asked how I felt about it. So like I kind of just want to give my perspective on it. I think they are more find an interesting way to do a show. Dress a frame, have a concept from a start to finish of a show. I think that is going to give you a much better product than just recreating a nightclub in a studio by itself.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're not. Yeah, so we're
I
on
mean,
the same
I haven't
page.
seen what you guys done. I mean, I saw your thing with Fresh. So like, let's just ask. You said Tony. You said Tony fucked up the live stream. So what's up? What do you do?
No, Tony didn't. We had a
Oh,
dropout. So like when you're in a rush and when you're running all these cameras, like it's just it we figured it out. It was a USB-C cord that got tripped.
oh, so it got pulled out and someone was jumping around and something wasn't plugged in.
Yeah. So we lost
Yeah,
the feed
yeah,
for
that
about
happens.
yeah,
That
yeah, but
happens.
when yeah, it happens, but it happens quite
Why
a
was no one
lot.
watching the feed? How long was the feed down?
Maybe 5 minutes. That's a
I mean,
lifetime.
okay, right before I was in with Drew. Okay, you know what happened with them at EDC, right?
Oh, I don't. What something
Okay, so
happened with their
EDC.
CDJ?
Oh, so you know how they all link together with an Ethernet cable, and they all have that tiny little plastic clip on the back that has pressure to lock it in.
All day.
Ethernet cable without one of those is plugged in. Of course it works, but any kind of pull or jitter is going to yank that thing out.
Yep.
It's not locked in anymore.
Oh.
CDJ goes into emergency loop mode, middle of their EDC set. It looks like they're building to a drop that never happens.
And it loops on
It's
the
out on
4-bar
YouTube.
loop.
We made a video about it, so if you guys want to check that out. So that stuff happens all the time. That's live production. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just no. It's live production is super stressful, and people jump into it not realizing how much work it really takes. And
of course, every
again,
cameraman and their brother jumped into it right when this happened.
Again, when
I thought it was hilarious because not half of them knew what a video capture card was. So it's just, I applaud the effort, but when you see big networks falling flat on their face, you need to talk to someone who knows what's up. And the information was out there on YouTube. Philip Bloom, Pro AV, like these people will show you step to step. Like Indie Mogul is another one. They have a full podcast instead of how to light it, how to dress a room, how to pick out furniture, how to set up your camera,
you like
how to mic yourself.
Couch?
Yeah, I do. I love your casting couch. You have a really great room. I liked it. We are actually in my apartment, and I set this up today, but I hope I look pretty for all of you. And I got a nice light coming in on myself. Yeah.
No.
I fucked up shaving today.
I mean, I like the aspect
no.
What was that?
When I was buzzing, it got stuck. So I guess I hadn't clicked it down all the way, and it went to the lowest one in the guard. So I was like, oh shit. So I had to shave it.
No, I mean, before the quarantine, I only had to shave once a week.
Yeah, it feels like. Are you about to pull some Genghis Khan stuff on us?
I mean, it's gonna take like 5 years before anything.
You just hit it with the buzz, right down the center, and just drop it down.
Maybe. I don't live in Missouri anymore.
Dude, it's a look, man. You do it with the blonde hair.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, I like the live streaming aspect just to be able to put the art out there, and I'm doing it for the love of it. I don't.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Let me get back. Having multiple cameras, setting up a scene, switching between them to showcase something is awesome. That's amazing. You're recreating a sitcom from the 90s. This is what they did. They had they dressed a scene, they lit it in any kind of room, and they had cameras 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm-hmm. And they look certain ways, they hit their marks, they talk to people. I'm just saying you have the ability now to then go be super creative. So why limit yourself to just showing 3 camera angles of a nightclub and production? We can do more.
Yeah, I hate that.
You can make them be creative in different ways.
One of my biggest arguments with my buddy is I do a lot of visual overlays and I have sound reactive programs that are completely free that go with the music. Because honestly, who really wants to stare at the DJ for 3 hours? And I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Oh my god, some of them who are going really, really hype, they're just thrashing with it and getting after it. There's no one there. What energy do you have? I know you can party by yourself. I know you can get amped to the music and you're deep in the mix and you're just fucking feeling it, man. But when I'm there, that energy comes from the crowd. That comes from them jump in the air, not caring, fully involved, fully committed with you.
But
Like
I'm
that energy
super
feels
here.
fake now.
I'll answer that. I'm super active in my chat rooms.
Okay.
So it's something that you have to groom your audience and tell them and stuff like that. Like like if you really do want to support your AJ's asking for electric forest stories, but
Oh, dude, yes, of
no
course. We definitely can
no
get to
forest
those.
is
We
sacred,
definitely can get to
AJ
those.
forest. But like so when I'm in the chat rooms, you could
AJ's lying. I'm here. I'm an open book for everything, buddy. Like I need to catch you up anyway, and I miss you. Actually, can we just get a shout out to AJ real quick and how
yeah
much I
no
love him
he's in
and
the
the
he's in the
birth of his
Facebook chat
beautiful
room.
son.
Hey,
Yeah, his what a wonderful man with a wonderful family and a
agreed,
wonderful life.
agreed.
Can we all hope to be as blessed as that man?
I don't think we can, but we could try.
We know neither one of us is gonna have a wife as hot, so we can go ahead and just check that off the list right now.
But anyways, so I'm interactive. So like what I see, like we are input. I say input and output and stuff like that. It's what you give and what you get back. So I play, and there's at the most a 20-second delay, at the least a 3-second delay, and you could actually look at that stuff on Twitch live. It's a delay to broadcaster, and I could kind of gauge, and because I will get reactions in the chat room.
Okay.
So I mean that's an interaction back and forth. It's not definitely will be never be anything as good as the human element, but it's something.
Oh, you're saying you're DJing. I was
Yeah.
like, why are you telling me what a chat room is? I was like, clearly you can answer questions in this chat right now.
No. I always
Oh, while
have
you're
a
DJing. That's fun.
I have a
But
screen
then,
right next to me when I'm playing.
but then,
It's a
okay. Do we want to like Wizard of Oz this? Do we want to show the man behind the curtain? Like if you prepare well enough, sometimes you have a lot of time in between your mixes. So do you want to interact with these fans more? Do you want to like not stare at the mixer as long? But then that kind of ruins the element of festivals. Does it
yes and
not?
no.
Like
I
I
mean,
kind of like
they want that interaction.
I mean, some like you have to like no matter what level DJ you are. Like let's call it Martin Garrix for example.
Yeah.
Why not? It's a real thing. You know, you hold a knob. You just you'll lean on a phaser for a little bit.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's
Just
still
you'll
an
just
art behind it.
you'll
I'm multitasking.
there is, but sometimes like especially if you're playing songs that you know a lot and you're performing sets or things you've transitioned and practiced. Like you as a DJ, would you not say you've practiced transitions between songs that you like to play out together?
Of course.
Yeah. So you know when it's coming up. Hopefully you're ready for it. Like you got time. I mean,
Yeah, but
unless you're
I feel like
having
every
I
little.
mean, you look at those Red Bull 3 style sets and things like that. Like
Yeah.
that's like fully attentive committal. Like you don't have to be as reactive as someone like playing a video game almost. Like there's more like input output of like what's going on than DJing.
Mhm.
Would you agree or not agree?
Wait, what was? I mean, it just
Like you
depends,
have to
man.
like
I mean, we're obviously industry, so we've taken the red pill. So you could tell if a DJ is actually working hard for it, or on top of that, I could multitask. I have 30, 40 seconds to be able to type something in between transitions.
yeah, of course.
So I mean, I like the aspect of it because I could see how much work they're putting into things. But yeah,
Yeah, but you're also not looking through an actual record crate and moving a needle and on holding a sticker.
yeah, but you're
No,
scrolling
people
through.
did that, and people did that successfully.
I have my
People did that
records.
skillfully.
I have my records.
Exactly. So I mean, like, what are we really complaining about? Like, if you can't use a digital system that much faster than being able to use those records, then shame on you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
So you got time.
at the end of the day, I think it's just another tool.
Perfect example. Mixes in like 3-4 seconds, done. It just stands there.
And I'm not here to talk down on anybody.
But like he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean,
Gangsters.
so at
Mixes
the end
clean.
of the
It's
day,
awesome.
at the end of the day, people get to choose whether it's entertaining to them or not. So
yeah, but like,
okay,
it's entertainment. You're an entertainer. You're Britney
I mean,
Spears. You're Michael
I
Jackson.
I've really never heard any Electric Forest stories from you.
What do you want to hear?
I mean,
Which
something to make
which
AJ happy.
does AJ want to hear stories about himself or Electric Forest not with him?
I have no clue. I mean, we'll have to wait for him to pop
I
up.
lost my phone at Electric Forest.
You lost your
I
phone?
know that's like a very anticlimactic story, but it made it 2 full weeks, and then the last night I lost it.
Wow. So how many times have you done? How many times have you done Forest?
5.
5? Okay, wow. I mean, how many times have you done it back to back?
2. So 4 of those times were 7 or 16 or 17, 18.
Okay.
So it was 16, 17, 18. 17, 18 was both weekends.
But the back to back ones were working.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I can only imagine. Forest, Alexa, a lot of people that don't know, Electric Forest is a music festival.
It's the best music festival in the country, in the world. It's the best one I've been to. And I've been to a plethora.
Okay. No, it's so the only way I could explain Forest, it's 5 days of just fuckery. Like I've spent yeah. Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. Check. So we just lost signal from Giorgio. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Giorgio.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Barely.
How about now?
A little bit better, but no video.
No video? Yeah.
I guess we're going to have a part 2. Thank you for tuning in. We'll have Electric Forest stories. Thank you, guys.
What is up, everybody?
Hey, what's up?
I'm Giorgio.
I'm Jwin. This is part 2 of my interview with Giorgio. We got cut off yesterday through some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think my internet here is pretty bad. I have to get my Google Mesh node set up at my apartment, but we're going to give it a roll here, number 2 today. I think we had a request from AJ on Electric Forest stories.
Yeah, we're getting into telling stories about Electric Forest, and if we were talking about yesterday, like the way I explain Electric Forest, it's 5 days of just fuckery for 2 weeks. And
yeah, I'll tell my first Electric Forest story working. So I take a Greyhound bus, not a Greyhound, they have a shuttle from Chicago O'Hare Airport. Right up to the festival grounds. So I take that, and I'm working for 2 or 3 DJs at this point, and it's all via email, and I haven't met any of them in real life. One of them is obviously supposed to have my passes, no big deal. I get there, no one's answering their phone. It's pouring down rain. They drop me off at the GA service, which is not where you pick up artist credentials, if any of you know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to go to like
credentials place.
It's not even just wait call. It's like a specific wait call.
Yeah, just for artists only. But little did I know that my artist didn't put me down.
Yeah, I mean,
so
that happens a lot.
First 6 hours of Electric Forest looking for a band, not having a band, going all the way to fucking Northern Michigan. And then Crywolf was one of the artists I was supposed to be working with, and I give him a call. And he's like, I have some extra bands, but I'm not going to pay. How about we do a band instead of payment? And I was like, okay, well, I have no other way to get in. I've got a couple other artists that I can shoot and make some money on. Well, I happen to be staying with him as well. So that cost me like $500 for the 2 weeks just to stay with him. So I'm already like net on this Electric Forest trip.
Yeah, did you end up staying in a hotel or were you camping?
No, we had an Airbnb right on the lake, about 10 minutes south. There's 2 towns right underneath Rothbury. I think it's like Lake Hill and something else. But yeah, we had a little lakeside house there. We would camp out and grill like in between the 2 weekends. We did acid and went canoeing on the lake.
Nice.
I mean, I highly recommend that.
Is that more doable than? I mean, there's been years you've camped, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this last year, the year before, with AJ specifically, I camped with him. I spent 2 nights in the Artist Hotel with Drew when they flew in specifically for their sets. But I wanted to stay the rest of the festival and obviously hang out with people like you and him. And who's going to pass up free Electric Forest bands? You know,
Yeah.
I may work in it, but I still like dance music. So
yeah, I think I would go every year that I could if I wasn't working.
I made a promise after the first year to go every single year of my life, and last year was the first year that I missed, and I was really disappointed in myself for not going and not working harder to go somehow, or like finding a way. But I know I was giving little tips of the trade last time, but a cool one is if you have music industry friends and you want to work in the music industry, always be available. Like, specifically how picking me up from Splash House and driving us through made a lot of connections for you. You ended up working for me a couple more times doing transportation and getting bands places, and it made music industry connects that maybe you wouldn't have had without that, and you can put on a resume.
It's hard though, man. I mean, I've worked it really hard my whole life to kind of set that up for me, and it's.
But you were also you were a good friend who was responsible and knew what you were doing. You put yourself in positions to then take those jobs. AJ was another similar person where I needed to call on him for a few things, and it paid off. So yeah. I think it's pretty beneficial too if you're looking at just the perks.
And yeah. I mean,
being available will get you really more perks than anything else. If you want free tickets to things, if you want to get into shows, if you want to get all access to stuff, be the responsible friend who helps out when they're called on, because eventually you're going to get called on. Eventually someone's going to need something. And if you know what you're doing and you can step in, it can be really beneficial for you.
Oh yeah,
also, you can do a great job and then no one cares. And
the first step to success is showing up, right? And that's even hard within our industry.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's super
so many
hard.
People are entitled. So many people are. The fake it till you make it is bad advice. Like, I know that's rampant in our industry, but if you get put in that test and it's time to show your knowledge and you don't have it, you're going to get blacklisted and no one's really going to hire you ever again. So I think wasting those opportunities when you get them is the worst thing that you could do. So just make sure that you're ready, make sure that you learn. YouTube's a vast source, and just always be able to be accountable and called on.
Yeah, I mean, people definitely don't realize how small the industry is and how much people talk.
Tiny. And everyone works with everyone. And everyone knows everyone personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big thing out here where everybody's just like name dropping all the time. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Like, of course. You saw that meme. It was like, add one person from the music industry with 5 similar friends, decline childhood best friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it'd be like that. AOC, I mean, you're in that Facebook group, right? Artist Managers Connect?
Yeah.
I mean, huge shout out to that. But if you look at that as like a sample size only, it's like there's a huge number of major artists and people who work with them just in that little group, and it's tiny. All these people know each other.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely done gigs and like worked all across the country, and we'll give them one like keynote about us, like, oh, we're from St. Louis or from the Midwest. It's like, oh, do you know Giorgio? Or, oh, do you know Avery? Shout out Avery.
Shout out Avery Rich. Dude, look at. Can we just talk about him for a tiny second?
I mean,
like just like, if we're gonna talk about my success,
is he like 22 yet? Is he like 23? Like, how old is he now?
Well, he's got the wizard beard now, so he straight up looks like Gandalf.
Yeah, but I mean, I met him when he was like 17,
16 or 17. Yeah, that's when he
throwing shows.
Prince Fox.
Yeah, throwing shows in like 21 Up clubs and just killing it with professionalism. It's just like,
he was so professional, no one ever knew his real age. He would like book artists to clubs he couldn't go to.
Nobody questioned it because he was just professional.
No. And he's showing up and signing the bill at the end of the night. But then he went on and he started managing this artist Kai, who's a great vocal artist, who's out in Los Angeles now. Then Truitt, then Fangs, then he started tour managing for the Golden Company, I think it was, or I think that's the name of
He's
it. So
doing
it's
he's
like
doing
more
live.
like the
I,
indie
I
band
know
stuff.
I know currently he's doing like live bands and stuff now.
Yeah, but then
But he's doing it all by
He was on the
himself.
He was on the Bernie Sanders team.
Yeah.
So it's like this 16-year-old kid who started throwing club shows and booking $500 DJs is now working for Bernie Sanders in 4 years on the
So
road. Like
proud of
you see him, like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, he was my manager for a little bit, trying to find me gigs. I think it was more of like an acting agent than a manager, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Super proud though.
it's
Yeah.
crazy to see how successful some of these people are. And I think you find those and you stay with them. So really germinate your friend group, and I think really hold them accountable too for success. I think that's one thing that's like really, really important from the people that I keep in my life. And it's like they don't make excuses for not being successful. And it doesn't mean they don't have failures, because I failed
Oh,
constantly.
same.
I mean, how many jobs was I fired from? Like most of them, or like left tours one tour early because
Yeah, but when you were
that for
there,
another day. But
they loved you, and you worked your hardest, and you put your biggest effort in. So yeah.
oh, of course, and I still have good relationships with all those people.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I'm helping put in Crywolf's live stream. He's doing those performances of his albums. So you know, he calls me all the time for tech advice, and we plan stuff together. And eventually, me and him will work together again. I feel that way about a lot of the artists that I've worked with before. It's
Yeah,
that
pick
the
and choose your
finances in
bridges.
EDM
Yeah.
sometimes are so tight, and people think DJs are so rich or they're making so much money. They don't see how much goes out just for production, just to get there, just to put on the show. You know, some of these DJs are going into debt. You don't realize that being a first time headlining act, you're not making any money. You're going 20, 30K in debt. And that's
Yeah,
just to put on
I
a show.
yeah, I learned a lot watching you and the people you've worked with. It's ridiculous how much they have to save and cut corners, and it sucks. It feels like there's a lack of loyalty because you think they're making money, but the money really isn't there yet.
No, it's the money gets distributed. It goes to the managers, it goes to the record labels, depending on your record deal. You know, I've heard some record deals that are, you know, 70-30, you know,
Oh, of course. I
50
mean,
50. So 50-50 is supposed to be good in the music industry. So it's like your record label's taking 50% of your streams off the top, like WTF. I mean, they don't touch your touring money, but then you got to pay tour managers, you got to pay agents, you got to pay your own manager who's taking, you know, 15-20% off the top as well of everything you make.
and I talk to a lot of young kids. They're like, "No way, I'll never sign that deal." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, you will. If I give you,
You're like, oh, I forgot they run this.
everybody has a dollar amount, and it's just
How much is it worth to have something released on Skrillex's label? How much is it worth to be having released on RL Grimes' label? How much is it worth to be released on Monster Cat?
well, if I need
Like,
to pay
like
rent, then $500.
right,
Yeah,
right. Like these are distribution platforms who are going to get you listens. Like they guarantee you, they guarantee you that. They guarantee you a lot of things. And I think that's where some of these record labels can help you. I think negotiating and knowing your worth as an artist is something else as well.
it's hard,
But it's
man,
going to be
because you
interesting to
gotta
see where
focus
the
on the
music
art.
industry goes.
You gotta focus on the art, but the business side is what gets you forward.
You gotta be able to pay for the house or the studio you live in to make the art. Like,
Right.
and then why do we shun people for wanting more, for wanting to be successful? You know, we praise business people for making money, but we call artists who want to make money stingy, or they should give it away for free, or they see the top echelon of pop stars, and I think all artists are like that, when really it's a very skewed perspective.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? I mean, I don't mind. I mean, we could get deeper and talk about like Illuminati and blah blah, but the labels definitely do run everything. Like Coachella is definitely a forecast of what the music industry is going to be the rest of the year.
Right, but that's all your agency. So like
Yeah.
that's not even your record label. So getting your Coachella spot is all, what agency are you signed with? What, and they all go hand in hand with each other. It's like, what's your big management company and who owns that, and what other artists do they represent? Who's your big agent who works with the venues that they're going to bully around and make you put stops on your tour? And who is your big record label who's going to get you on Spotify lists?
Right.
And you need that trifecta to be successful. Also have a good ground team, tour management team, day-to-day team, who's like handling all your incoming emails and making sure there's no loose ends are all tied up. And then have some good media people.
It's ridiculous.
And
I mean,
that's
it takes
but
a
that's
team.
that's a team of 6 right there, and that's a team of
Yeah.
6 killers
It's
you
a
have to
team
have.
of it's a team of 3, and everybody's doing 2 or 3 jobs.
There's that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
There's that.
when
We
you're
can
when
give
you're
you that.
when you're on the top level tier, yeah, but at the medium lower level, everybody's multitasking.
Yeah,
for
I'm acting
sure.
tour manager, production manager,
Photographer,
photographer,
videographer,
merch guy,
guy, yeah, accountant.
van driver,
We need cigarettes.
cigarette getter.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, because it's just like, at the end of the day, well, I mean, we'll talk a little bit about like with EDM and the bubble. I mean, I think it's survived this long because the bigger guys are actually putting money back into their production. So it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's upsetting that a lot of these sets
Well,
are.
what time frame are you talking right now? Like, how many years ago are you saying these big guys put the money into the production?
I'm just saying
You're talking
now.
about people like Excision, who like really kind of put dubstep on his back for a little bit and had those huge wraparound LED walls with the 3D elemented visuals that kind
Yeah,
of tied
yeah. I think
together,
that
and the
stuff's
stage that
yeah,
lifted.
that
And
stuff's
then
keeping it
then he
alive.
did his own festivals.
Hmm. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I think we're quickly coming to the end of that, though. And I think,
really.
I think also we've been saying that for a long time. We've been saying we're tired of DJing. DJing's going to be over. DJing's going to be done. EDM's going to be finished. But at the same time, like, I haven't been to a concert in so long or anything in so long. Like, I would love to go to a soft ticket club, get drunk off vodka Red Bull, and shoot a CO2 gun at people,
Yeah,
or
I
like
mean,
spin a joggle backspin. And how much do you miss that?
I still enjoy it, but I mean, as much as I do go to festivals and sets and stuff like that, I as well prepared as the set is, I just really enjoy that's a good put together show. Like you
Oh
definitely
yeah,
could tell.
I guess, yeah,
Good.
like a curated event, a curated art
Hmm.
piece, and I think there is definitely a transition between that. And like,
Oh no, there's
I
so
give
much
this
so.
spiel to every artist I work with. Like, we all sit down and like after a set or like the night before or something, we're drinking and we'll like go into like our theories on music. And I always say like the Blue Man Group are my biggest inspiration because what they do with the presentation, when like they're banging a freaking mallet to a piano for Bob O'Reilly and like that comes in, and just I think it's brilliant. And I look at live theater as well, like Peter Pan, like sailing people across the stage. I'm like, we can do that. Why don't we have our singers hoisted up into the rafters like over people?
I
Why are
mean,
we not popping up at front of house after a fake power outage? Why are, you know,
yeah, I mean
I think we were at
the
some point
rap
in time
game
like,
the rap game at the top tier is doing that
right.
for
Yeah.
sure at the top tier.
Yeah.
But the in between and the lowers are just
Drake's flying the Lambo in the
Astro
crowd
World
and
stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Those are theater tours. Like, I feel like we can do that on a smaller scale. It just takes hard work. Like, you
Money,
got to get into
time.
the venue.
Yeah.
You got to get into the venue at 10 a.m. instead of 4 p.m. load in. You got to be building all day. You got to be testing rigging. One of the first events I ever worked was a thing called Electric Flurry, and it was these dudes trying to put on the world's
That
biggest
sounds like
foam event.
oh yeah, that sounds like foam. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah,
maybe
so
that
like
will cure Corona.
we had to carpet an entire venue for this. So I was like donating my time to these guys because I wanted to work in the music industry. And I ended up not even getting paid for it. But long story short, we carpeted the whole thing, filled up all these balloons and hung in the rafters, brought in all this different foam, and it was we had an aerialist, like a trapeze act that went on during the time as well. DJ split on each side.
What year was
And
this?
2015.
Oh wow.
Headlined by Sir Shreddy Mercury, aka Jonathan Cain,
Oh wow.
who is making a music comeback career.
What
Some
city is he in
Snapchats
right
today.
now?
He's living in Colombia. Him and
Okay.
his girlfriend are living there. He had some personal issues for a little bit. They had to step aside from music and really concentrate on making money, but he seems to be in a good place right now. He had tinnitus. I have tinnitus surgery as well. Yeah.
There's
so
wait, there's a surgery?
Protect your hearing.
Yeah, hearing protection is cool, kids. Hearing protection is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had tinnitus surgery, and
What is okay? To clean up
yeah,
like the tissue.
they repaired his eardrum somehow.
Okay, that scares the shit out of me. I mean, even vertigo scares the shit out of me. Like it's just
I mean,
your equilibrium's just like gone. You can't even
the
stand
movie
up straight.
Vertigo scares the shit out of me. Shout out to Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I can't wait to check these snaps and see this crazy electro house that he's sending me.
So cool.
Maybe there's a comeback for that. Maybe Porter will make it cool again. What do you think of Electric Sky Festival? Or at least, or specifically the Porter set?
I mean, here's the thing, man. Porter performs really well live, and he's at home, so all your equipment is sitting there. Can you just plug up one thing and entertain us a little bit more than just a DJ set?
I think it was just a mixer and a
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Launch Pro, right? It was a mixer and like a little.
Yeah, he's probably on Ableton and
Ableton Launchpad
like that. It wasn't a live set for sure, but all his gear and everything is definitely at his house, in the other room, and he didn't bring any of it out.
Oh, are we talking about, or what gear do you mean specifically? You mean like a set of CDJs?
Even the drum pads or like a keyboard or something like that. You know, I didn't watch the
from
whole,
like talking about from the world set kind of
something
stuff.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Put
for
a little
sure.
more into it. Yeah, you're the main event for sure. I loved San Holo's set. That one.
I didn't see that. I need to go check that out.
He
Shout out Sonder.
yeah, he sits on the floor and he plays. He does a really soft set because it was an early set during the day, and he lights tea candles the whole time during his set. He lights about maybe 50 to 80 of them, and then towards the end he walks off and he created the percent logo that he's been pushing the whole time.
Oh, the vibrance.
It was beautiful.
That's his tribute to mental health.
Yeah, and it's very much an embodiment of, you know, when you can truly express yourself as an artist, you could just tell this is what he wanted to put out there, and he deserved to be there. It was good. It's on YouTube. You should check it out.
I'll go check it out. The way you're describing that just reminds me of the Flume live set. Have you seen that? Have you been able to see that yet?
The new one or the older ones? Where he's grinding?
2000. Yeah, from 2009, the summer of 2019.
I didn't get to see those. Yeah, no.
Oh man, they're amazing. He like smashes some printers, and then he has Janders sweep them up on stage.
Oh really?
And he like passes out, and some people do like Tai Chi and resurrect him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sits on the floor and plays a little Charlie Brown piano too. It's pretty cute. I fuck with it.
I mean, Flume, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I brought the Porter up thing is because he's basically doing a DJ set or a launching mixing set, and he's just going ham. And I know he's really invested in his music. I know he is like recreating this like stream of emotion and sound with that set that he's putting out. But it feels like he's playing a festival. Like he's throwing arms in the air and he's getting behind it, and he's really just into it. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? Because I know some DJs are very like, I'm in the mix, I'm head down. Some DJs are on the table, some DJs are on the mic. Like, how big do you go? I guess is my question. We kind of talked about that in the first episode, but I really wanted to come back.
I guess that comes with taste making and understanding. I don't know. There are definitely times where I've played a track hundreds of times, and you know, in different bars in different parts of the country, and I know it just does well. So it's just that there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness. So it's definitely
in the sense of like how hard it's gonna go off.
Mm-hmm. And then like the way I gauge that a little bit is by the chat rooms while I'm playing live too. I mean, people will, you know, you could see.
I guess I wasn't specifically meaning on your live set. I meant in the art of DJing in general. Like, yes, like, and then do you have room to go bigger or not as big? Does going big help connect the people to it? Like, is the showmanship part of it?
Well, I mean, I'm originally like, you know, Serato turntables, like turntablist, like playing a lot of clubs and bars. So I mean, you definitely lose that element of like DJing today because everybody's only playing like an hour set. But like crowd reading is slowly becoming a lost art. It really is.
Do you think that has to do with a lot of people are playing like sets, like pre-recorded or pre-planned, or both like?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
people like to
we'll put
throw those around all the time on the message boards. But
I say well prepared.
Just knowing what you're going to play.
Well prepared. Okay.
Well
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very well prepared.
Well prepared.
I mean, I think if you take enough, if wherever you're playing, even at my scale and on a lower level, stuff like that, when I open up for bigger artists, there's enough information out there. There should be enough information out there for you to recognize. And I mean, not everybody does this. So when I play, let's say I play a show, like a local show at one of the clubs here for like an artist, I'm gonna research the headlining artist, the label, and the
And this
openers.
is when you're playing early support for people at a soft ticket club, like Exchange or something.
Yeah, so I will I will research the artists, the openers that are playing before and after me. I will research the headliner. I research the promo company. So I know the demographics that's gonna play. I know the style of music that's gonna play before me. I know the style of music that's gonna play after me. It's as much input you really want to put into it, and a lot of guys don't do it because they're stubborn. Because sometimes they just want to play what they want to play. But if you're truly trying to entertain, I put that much work in every set.
Okay. How do you feel about artists who just want to play? Like, you would never get on a band about that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really where the differential, like, you would never get mad at a band for playing only their original music or only the music they wanted to play, would you?
Yeah, but they're on a different level because they actually created their own music.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, people create their own electronic music too.
For sure.
So what if?
But what's the difference between? I mean, are they there for you, or are they there for I mean, yeah, it's
right. Like, what is your purpose in the evening? Like, are you the headlining artist? Are you there to supplement? Are you there to get people dancing? Like, I think I tell a lot of my opening artists too who are on tour with me, because usually they don't have a tour manager. So I tend to like take them under the wing, kind of thing, and just. They're not used to it either, and a lot of them don't have stage presence. They may have had a few big songs on Spotify or SoundCloud, and they'll get on as a direct support, but they are unaware of like playing. Like, I think you are in a special position where you've played a lot more shows than some people.
It's hard. I will say this. It's
they don't know how to connect with the audience in the same way that I think you learn from cutting your teeth playing those open format or bar shows. Like, when you are there to entertain people, or your job is to put as many people in that venue as possible so the bar sells as much money as possible so the promoter gives you money, like, you're going to act a little differently than the kids. Like, you are going to listen to 45 minutes of the most aggressive 240 BPM that you've ever heard in your life. Little Texas does not give a fuck. Shout out Little Texas.
Where's the fix? I think a lot of that comes with a lot of mindfulness. If you really do care about the bigger picture, and sometimes you can't, but if you're playing the show, obviously you could talk to somebody within that team. And there's times on bigger tours where it's just like, some of the biggest EDM hits that are bangers right now, and the artists will actually talk with each other. Is like, do you mind if I play this? They're like, no, it's in my set. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the bigger picture of the show, it's just like, it's mindfulness.
I think artists talk to each other about the set.
I do.
Is a funny way.
I call dibs on songs.
That's one way of putting it. Or the headlining's tour manager can come in, look at your USB and say, you're not playing this, you're not playing this, you're not playing this, you're taking this out, you're taking this out, this is too hard. Oh,
that's stressful.
Come on.
Yeah.
So one of my artists was opening up for one of my favorite artists of all time. This was early in their career before we were together, so he was just sharing the store with me. He was playing his own remix at the time, which was very big and popular. The tour manager slaps him in the back of the head and said, if you play another song Rail Rhyme is going to play, I'm pulling you off these decks right now.
That sucks. I mean, honestly, like, at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like I come into the picture like really, really nice. I mean, I tell a lot of the younger artists and stuff like that, like, when you go, like, it's funny story. Okay, I'll tell you this. I told as a DJ buddy of mine in St. Louis, and I'm like, when you get into the venue, the first thing you do is you make friends with the light guy and the sound guy, because they will make sure your show will be great. And and I love those guys, because honestly, they're the underdogs. They really are. They do a lot of work, and I didn't know this. It was
you could say they're the NYPD
and firefighters of the music
Yeah,
industry.
it was
Yeah.
at Rise, right? Rise nightclub in at Ameristar in St. Louis, and I didn't realize this. He was tipping them $60, and so during his opening sets, confetti everywhere. I'm like, good for you. You're gonna have some really dope pictures. But yeah, like at the end of the day, I'm just really
Doing it for the
nice
gram,
about. I mean,
buddy. Doing it for the gram.
at the end of the day, be a good person, and you get away with a lot more. I've definitely gotten away
Yeah.
with being a lot more aggressive with my sets because I don't want to play 124 tech house, man. Sorry, it's not what I do. But when so I've been nice and I've been just a hard worker to the point where they just let me. There's times where they just let me go hard until they go get the artist the last 10 minutes. So at the
I
end of
think
the
when
day,
you're playing direct support, you can go pretty hard right before the headliner because they're going to usually do you a hard cut anyway. And for so many people don't know what that means, they're going to turn the music all the way off and the lights all the way off.
for the most
Just
part,
to really set the mood and set the tone. You know,
More of the
everyone gets out
story-
there.
more of the
their-
stories-
everyone
yeah.
gets out their phone. The lights come on. Everyone starts chanting.
goals. I mean, at the end of the day,
Paulie D, Paulie D, Paulie D.
man.
Yo, I'm not even
Dollar
gonna
bills,
lie.
y'all.
That man had more cell phone lights out, him coming out than almost any DJ I've ever seen.
I mean, I don't want to
He's
experience,
Serato
but
DJ
I
too.
believe you. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Can I tell you a quick Paulie D story? A quick
Okay.
Paulie D transition story. Quick Paulie D story. God's Plan, a huge banger of a song when it first came out, right? You know, number one on the charts. You agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything Drake.
Slow echo fade out. I think all of you are meant to be here tonight. You're all meant to come party with me. I think it was a God's plan. Slap transition over to Drake saying that. And I cringe harder than I've ever cringed before and cry myself to sleep that night.
It's okay. I mean, I'm not. The way I say it is.
You can't comment. I can. This is my story.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We're all entertainers.
Yeah.
We're all entertainers. Some of us are DJs. Some of us are clowns. So, you know what? I mean, you know, what do you want to do in life? I mean, with your career, and if you know, sometimes it just takes a really good dollar amount to get you to do that every night. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I can't hate him. The party was still pretty awesome.
So yeah, we talked about a lot of this off camera. Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, I wanted to come prepared for this,
Okay.
and I actually had some
Swinging,
notes.
coming in swinging.
Yeah.
I have nothing prepared, but personal
Oh,
experience.
hold on. Sorry. Yep. Shit. Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it short.
Work.
No
Yeah,
worries.
I gotta cut it short.
Let's
Sorry, everybody.
That's fine. Let's plug. What do you have going on? You told me you're trying to start a podcast right now.
Yeah. Takeout is going to be a podcast between me and my buddy, who are also stand-up comedians, and we watch one special on Netflix and then do our takeaways from it. And we'll probably branch off from that as well and tell a story of our lives growing up in athletics and then transitioning over into comedy. I'm going to make Joey bring me back eventually.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
guys,
I'll probably
I'm
have you
very
back
sorry
again
that
in
I had to do this.
another month. Yeah.
I hope that this is a great first send-off podcast.
thank
I'm
you so
glad that
much, man.
everyone tuned in live. Hopefully I don't get fired from my job. But I love you all and thank you. Find me at just Giorgio on Instagram. Tell Joey that he's the fucking best. And I love all of you and sorry that I have to go.
It's okay.
Bye.
All right. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Giorgio. Appreciate you, buddy. Love you. I will see you soon. And everybody, please be safe out there. I know the country's opening back up, but please be safe. Thanks.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye.